Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is session 4 of the Green Economy Innovations for Service Delivery Conference. We're on the energy theme here. If you find yourself here and you didn't intend to be in energy, I recommend you stay, but of course you can navigate your way either to the water and sanitation or waste sessions that are happening concurrently. Before we kick this session off, I just want to say a big thanks to the team from Clarion, to Tracy, Nasli, and others in the background. We've been joking, but this is like I feel almost like a NASA astronaut getting the countdown and getting set up for this. So thank you so much. There's a lot that goes on in the back end and it often doesn't get acknowledged. As I mentioned, this is session 4, the final session before the networking session, which will be happening at 2 o'clock. I have the very charming Philippe Hublish with me. I hope I've said your name correctly, Philippe.
That's good.
He is brilliant, thank you. He's going to be presenting on the very interesting Making Clean Cooking Fuel Accessible and Affordable. Without much further ado, I'm going to hand over to you, Philippe. For those on the call, if you want to find out more, please do navigate to his profile to read more about himself and Paygas, the organization for which he is CEO. Philippe, over to you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Reshmi and GreenCape for this opportunity. So what Paygas is addressing is the daily challenge of people for cooking. And lots of people spoke about electricity and other essential features for daily work life, but cooking is also part of it that sometimes we forgot. So let me go through. So the challenge of people today is, especially in informal settlement in Cape Town, is if you want to cook your daily meal, you can use electricity, but it's quite expensive. And if you are not connected to the grid, you can use paraffin or charcoal. And people are using it because you can split in a small quantity. Unfortunately, before we came, it was impossible for households to use gas because every time you need your bottle, your canister is finished, you need to buy a full cylinder. And a full cylinder about 5 kg is about 120 rand. So it prevents people, this full amount, preventing people to use gas every time the canister is empty. So what we developed is a technology that you can pay as little as 10 rand. So Paygas is a French Capetonian startup. We started 3 years ago. And the idea is just to respect the way people behave, meaning that when my bottle is finished, first, I don't know when it will finish. And when it's finished, I can pay with 10 rand or 20 rand. So that is the green innovation we are providing in support, in partnership with the City of Cape Town. So how does it work? The idea is to make clean, affordable gas cooking, like any gas cooking you're using in your favorite restaurant, but for any household in any citizen in Cape Town. And the technology is like this one: is we deploying a pay-as-you-gas refilling station in every township. So presently we're operating in Delft, Philippi, Nyanga, Kayamandi, Soweto. And the idea is to make accessible also the gas, so you can walk to your closest Paygas station, and it's a cashless solution, so you pay with a voucher, and you don't need to carry cash in the street, and it refill exactly the amount you pay for. So patented technology, it's safe. It has been jointly designed with the fire department of Cape Town and national authorities. It is inclusive because we deploy our station as a micro franchising model. So when we find a site, we find also a local entrepreneur who will operate this station on a franchise model. So we don't use our own employee, we really integrate the community. And that's very important on the pillar of Paygas to make affordable, accessible, and also inclusive for cooking gas. So basically for the client, when they came the first time, we register them, ID, cell phone. We give them a dedicated cylinder from our gas partner, Afrox. We put a sticker on it, a barcode, then we know it's NIC cylinder, and NIC will always come with the same cylinder. You don't need to swap it. Then you pay with a voucher, so we're using flash voucher, the same that people are using for DSTV, electricity, airtime, or lotto. But now they can also buy gas with it. So it's very important because in the area we're operating, sometimes when I see Nick walking with his empty cylinder, I know he got 120 rand in the pocket and he become a target. But when I saw him, see him walking with a pay gas and the barcode, I know that he only have a voucher. So I can't buy, I can't steal someone for a voucher. So that's very important for our clients, that they can safely walk, refill their gas without being strapped by being robbed for the money they're carrying on them. So the period of voucher and the algorithm we have developed is transforming the amount you pay with the voucher into a quantity of gas. So for example, if you say you buy 10 rand voucher, it's about 480 grams, then the pump will pump exactly the amount in the dedicated cylinder and stopped. So it's very important for our client because in the informal area, sometimes you got dealers who are not very sure about the quantity of gas you pay for. And in this case, it's totally transparent. You know the amount, the weight of the cylinder before filling, after filling, and it creates a strong loyalty to our client. So this is the customer journey. And how we at Paygas at the moment, so we sold more than 200 tons of LPG through our technology, 12,000 active clients in our 5 stations, more than 37,000 visits of clients buying visits. And we got 2 major LPG partners and 1 major channel of distribution. We're partnering with Pick and Pay Market Store. Pick and Pay Market Store are the Pick and Pay you can find inside township for revitalizing local economy, and it's owned by local entrepreneur, and we are partnering with them because our clients, they don't have transport. So when they go to their Pick and Pay Spada, then they can also in the same trip top up their gas. So it's a great partnership we got with Pick and Pay, and we're deploying more and more inside Western Cape, but also at the national level. And the market of LPG gas cooking is about 30 million people in South Africa, about 7 million households, and this is a target we are deploying at the moment on our technology. And we are also looking for a larger deployment. We already incorporated Paygas in Nigeria, where the need for clean, affordable cooking is even more important. And what is important also in the journey of Paygas is to understand our client. So between our clients, we got the support of major LPG company like Afrox, they are the #1 in South Africa, who are partnering with us because they believe that the pay-as-you-go for gas model is very important to make a cooking gas affordable for a lot of people. For example, 43% of our clients are consuming less than 5 kg per transaction, meaning that before Paygas, this 43% of households never have access to gas. So it's a very, very important element for us. Also, a lot of our clients, let's say, for example, the one who testifies, I used to cook with paraffin and it was dangerous for the children in our house, and it caused respiratory problems. Thanks to Paygas, I switched to LPG and can now cook with the children inside the house. This is a reality of many households in Cape Town, that they're using paraffin because it's a small quantity, and that they're happy to switch to gas when it's possible. So the problem is always this one is, when people are low income, is not only low, it's irregular, and gas is a regular spending to have. So as soon as you break this regular fixed amount to be spent into gas, then you are opening the capacity of other people to consume gas. So the other success for us is the testimony of our franchisee. And for example, I like to mention Kosi, who is the owner of Ndwamba Market, the Pick and Pay in Nyanga, and say, I didn't have a clue about the gas distribution business before I started as a franchisee for Paygas, but now the more I operate the station, the more I can say with confidence that gas is not a man's business. The additional revenue helps hire people from the community. So that's also very important, because when you deploy as a micro franchising model, then you can really empower people from the community. It's a franchise model, so you don't need to have a higher degree of education. Pegas is processing everything. We install the station, we train you on safety, we train you on sales, we buy the gas, you operate, and we do a 50-50 profit sharing end of the month. So it's really a easy business to operate, and all the technicality, and is handled by Pegas and Afrox, and it's a great opportunity for franchisee to get decent revenue. For example, operating a Pegas station is about 20,000, 40,000 rand per month for the franchisee. And with this amount, they can hire people from the community, give them jobs. So it's a basic basic need as cooking. So it's a very interesting model we deploy, and got a lot of support from authorities, from the partners, from the client themselves, because a lot of people are coming to me and say, wow, is it really possible to buy gas for 10 rand? And I say, yes, it's feasible. And you can. It's not because you are living in township that you can't have access to the same quality of service. So this is our proud at Pegas to make it a reality. And that's it globally. I don't know if you got any questions.
Thanks, Philippe. Really appreciate that. I'm just going to have a look in the chat, if you'll give me a moment just to see if there are any questions. Okay, there are a couple. Question A, who holds the infrastructure risk with your projects, and how is this mitigated?
Okay, so this is a good question. So basically, what we ask for a franchisee is a site, and we will do the assessment with the fire department. So Pegas is doing a major hazard installation assessment, where we will say, okay, is it this site fitted for gas? Is it the risks are acceptable or not? So we do a study before deploying. Then we do the construction of the station, and we get approval by fire department. We got a flammable substance certificate. This is a permit to trade gas. So, and on a daily basis, these stations are co-maintained by Afrox and Pegas. So every time we are coming to refill the stations, like every 2 or 3 days, then we do also the check of if there's no leaks and if there's no challenge and everything. So it's in terms of risk, it is mitigated by Afrox, Pegas on a daily basis, and on the construction part is mitigated with the fire department.
Okay, brilliant, thank you. I've got another question here for you, Philippe. Your model allows for an entry point into a household's energy ladder. Are there other services that can be added to your model? For example, Wi-Fi at the filling stations or solar, etc.
Yes, that is a good point. We worked with some solar company before, and it makes totally sense, because with gas, you will never charge a cell phone, okay? And you can cook, you can heat, you can light, but you can't never charge a cell phone. So what we worked with a few companies is to do a basic energy relief, meaning solar plus gas, because with solar it's the same. You can light, you can charge a powerful. So I strongly believe that the future is partnering between affordable cooking gas with solar companies who understand this need. That is not, if I just put my solar panel, and I grew up in Africa and I saw a lot of solar panel on the house, and I say, as soon as I saw a solar panel, I know that this person is cooking with wood, because you don't have access to grid. And this is something that we can't accept. We cannot accept it. So I believe that yes, when we are addressing informal settlements, it is very important to give a complete solution. It's like going to your place, Nick, and say, okay, I will only give you lights. Okay, do yourself, manage yourself for cooking, and it's the same. If Pegas is only cooking, say, okay, I will only come for light, cooking and heating, but for your charging phone, help yourself. So it's really important to have this holistic approach, and we are quite successful to do partnership. to say we'll provide the pay-as-you-go for cooking, and you can come with your pay-as-you-go for lighting, charging the phone. So yes, it is really important to add it. We can also put Wi-Fi on our station. It's really for us to deploy an energy network inside informal settlement.
That's brilliant. A really nice kind of collective solution, Philippe. There's another question here from the audience. That is, what is the lifespan of your product, and how often does it need to be replaced?
Okay, so I assume it's about the installation, not the gas. So basically, an installation like this can last for 15 years, 20 years. So it's really like an installation in any commercial center, mall. So what is very important is maintenance, okay? And it is done, as I said, in partnership with the gas company, with Afrox. So maintenance is done every 3 days. And it's also maintained by the operator, by the franchisee. And the installation itself is about, yes, I say 15 years, 20 years. We just need to replace the tank and the pipe sometimes, but it's really like every 10 years. So the pumps themselves, because it's an electronic pump with a Pegas software inside, yeah, it's a regular maintenance. I think the pump, if you pump really a lot, maybe you need to change them like every 5 years or 7 years. But as any mechanical things, it's just maintenance. If you maintain well, you don't need to replace a lot.
I don't know if I'm throwing you an awful question here, but you said you assume you meant the product, not the gas. Can you? I mean, how long would the gas last? Is that okay. Really how long is a piece of string kind of question?
So basically the gas, it depends on how you cook. For example, a family of 4 people, they will use about 7 kg of gas, because they only cook on the morning to boil water and on the evening for the dinner. So 7 kg of gas, it costs about 150 rand. So it really depends. But if you do a long meal, few hours of stew and everything, it changes a lot. So, but basically, just to compare electricity with gas, you can imagine that 7 kg is about 150 rand. And trust me, you can't never cook for a full month for 4 people for 150 rand of electricity. So it's just to compare, because people were surprised, but some of, like 90% of clients, they got electricity, but it's much expensive to cook with electricity because of the appliances power and everything, and the cost of electricity itself. So as I say, lifespan for a cylinder 5 kg is about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on how you cook. And the figures we got on our 12,000 clients is about 7 kg per family for the full month.
Okay, that's really interesting. That was something of a selfish question, because I've actually recently moved into a new place, which both my geyser and my hob are gas fed. So I've been wondering. I mean, I haven't exhausted the tanks yet, so still got a while to go, evidently. Cool. There are quite a few more questions popping up, so just bear with me if I can navigate to the most recent one. How does Paygas pick its sites?
Okay, that's very important, and that's where we are partnering with the City of Cape Town. So 2 things. First, gas is heavily regulated. So you need to have a site who is zoned for general businesses. And that's what we ask for our franchisee. Is either you come with your own site that you rent or own, who should be general businesses zoning, and we do all the assessment, or we ask for partner like Pick n Pay, because their Pick n Pay are on general businesses zoning sites. And other case, we ask also for the municipality of Cape Town. Sometimes we say, if you have got municipal land, we can rent as Paygas, we can put the station, we can create jobs. That's also where we are partnering with the City of Cape Town. When we ask for a tender, we do all the processes, and then we can deploy right inside community at walking distance using municipality land. So it's just a long process, but that's where the City of Cape Town is really supported for Paygas, because it's creating at minimum 5 jobs and decent revenue, and creating also access to energy for cooking.
I'm not sure if this is possibly touching on a similar theme, but what kind of support could a municipality provide Paygas to continue to roll out your services?
So we already have a lot of support in terms of safety. So fire department are the one who co-designed the Pega station in a container with us in 2018. And thanks to them, because their challenge was informal refillers inside townships. And the Pega technology didn't exist before. So we sit together at the general department of the fire station. We say, okay, what do you want as a fireman, as a mitigating risk for fire to be included in the Pega station? So we remove the wooden floor, we put a steel one, we put a fire retardant wall, ventilation, extinguisher, and everything. So it was a really big support from the very beginning. And then on every site we're deploying, they're coming for a pre-inspection. Okay, are they comfortable with this site or not? What are the safety measures they want to put? Is it a firewall? Is it a certain distance? Then we do it. They come for after construction inspection. And so we got a very good and strong partnership with City of Cape Town. Last time when we opened Nyanga, there was like 20 fire chiefs coming to visit and to say this is the best practice to avoid informal refilling inside township, who are very dangerous and causing sometimes like sharks fire, with a nightmare for fire department. And on the municipality themselves, it's just for finding more sites to creating jobs where we can rent a site from the municipality to have a faster deployment and not only belonging on private site like for the Pick and Pay site one.
Philippe, sorry, just another one of my slightly silly questions, but I recently watched a talk by Simon Sinek. I don't know if you've heard of him. He says ask the silly questions. So I'm going to do it. I'm just wondering if there is any sort of challenges around the perception of risk or danger with gas and fires, and how that impacts your business. I mean, again, just using a personal example. It's something my mother is absolutely terrified about. You know, I've been telling her how much I'm enjoying using gas to cook and warm my water, and she's sort of anxious about it. And I know that with these dreadful fires we've seen as well, there was a little bit of speculation that it was exploded gas canisters that started it. I know that that's a bit of a myth that's been debunked subsequently. But yeah, I mean, I'm just interested to know around that kind of perception.
Especially if she's watching Netflix with all these Hollywood movies. Now, gas can't explode, okay? It can burn, but it can't explode. That is true. There's a perception of gas is bomb, okay? And what is very important is to understand that paraffin is much dangerous. Illegal electricity is much dangerous. But the best way is to do a proof of concept, a trial. So what we organize, we're organizing cooking competition inside township when we launch a station, and say, guys, okay, let's cook the same food with 10 rand of electricity, 10 rand of paraffin, and 10 rand of gas. And people really understand how efficient it is, or it saves money for them. And at the end, it's just to be comfortable with it. So we do a lot of education, and this cooking competition are a very good way to interact and to explain all the fear they got. And but that's it. It's if you look on the statistic of the sharks fire, there's much more with a candle, paraffin, electricity than even the one with gas. So it's really a perception that need to be educated, and saving, like if you can cook with 150 rand for your whole family for 1 month, trust me, that's a good way also to understand that, okay, it was to learn how to use it well, because it can really help on the daily life. So education is key, but it's just by practicing it.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a great answer. I've got another question here. I'm going to read it verbatim because there's a little comment as well, which is great talk. Are you looking at technology where the cylinder only dispenses what it's bought, rather than only filling the tank by the amount that is bought?
Okay, this is what we say smart meter. So in a pay-as-you-go for gas, there's two models. There's a smart meter with some company like Copagas, Pego Energy in Kenya, and the Pegas model. Pegas is a smart refilling station. So what is the challenge with smart meter? And it was my purpose on my research on my MBA is you put a full cylinders at people's house and you wait until they consume it. So it's great, huh? It's a nice technology. You debit your cylinder at home, but as a company, you put product that your client didn't pay, and my clients are low income, so it's low and irregular. So if Nick stopped paying because he don't have money today, what should I do with my product and my technology at your place? I need to collect it. In the pay gas model, it's more the smart meter is more a post-paid model. So it's a negative cash flow model. So it's quite dangerous, and that's why it didn't scale up, because it's too complicated. In a pay gas model, unfortunately, if Nick don't have 10 rand, he can't go at this pay gas station. But it's a prepaid model. So that's why I didn't choose this technology. But yes, no, I prefer people to come like at the petrol station. You know, when you come with your car, say, okay, Nick, I give you a full tank and you pay me after. It didn't work. So technology-wise, it's super nice, but from an economical viability, it's impossible. So that's why we are doing our pay cashless refilling station instead.
Thanks, Philippe. I just want to double check, but I think that's all of the questions from the audience. I'm going to quickly just call out the poll results that was running. What do most residents of unelectrified Cape Town informal settlements currently use as energy to make their food? I'll tell you the results. You can tell me if you think we're wrong with this, Philippe.
Okay.
25% illegal electricity connections, which are unsafe and unreliable. 25% unregulated and expensive gas from unregulated informal markets. 25% paraffin. 25% charcoal or wood.
Okay, so from my experience, it's about 50% illegal electricity. And then you got 40% of paraffin in Cape Town, Western Cape, and then you got 10% of gas, really. So paraffin is a major way of cooking in townships in Western Cape, and it's a big challenge for health, for kids, for sharks fires, and it's also quite expensive. So yes, 50, 40, 10.
Brilliant, thank you. Thanks for myth busting that a little bit for us. Philippe, I don't know if you have any sort of closing comments. We're wrapping up. We've got a couple of minutes left, but I just want to give you a chance to sort of give any concluding remarks you may have.
No, I think from the very beginning, I choose to come to South Africa, to come back to South Africa, to go to Cape Town, because you got this dual world. You are the best in Haiti. Pay as you go have been invented by South African in the 90s, if I remember well. And at the same time, you got this situation in townships. So it's a unique country in Africa that you got both worlds. So I came here because I believe that if you can bond the two, very good technology on pay-as-you-go and serving the households in township, then you can really do something. And it changed daily life. And thanks to the success we did in Cape Town, then we're expanding, as I say, in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Namibia, because it makes a lot of sense to people that today it's impossible that because of the full quantity of product I need to buy, I can be prevented to access. So it's like tomorrow, if I say, Nick, it's either a full tank for your car at the petrol station or nothing, then it's 50% of people that will never use their car. So what we are doing and what we started in Cape Town will have a huge impact, and it's already a big success. We expand to hot tank last month, and that many more to deploy. We got 52 stations to deploy with Pick and Pay, 500 in a five years basis, and much more for Africa. That story is starting from the mobile city.
Brilliant, Philippe. Thank you. I can't help but feel a degree of gratitude to you as well, because we talk a lot about the brain drain in this country and people, you know, leaving to go and take solutions elsewhere. So appreciate you've come here to help us out. That's amazing. Thanks so much. Really inspiring talk. There were a lot of questions. I hope I haven't missed any. I hope that you're going to be in the networking session, so that if there are, sorry,
I will be at the networking session. No problem. With pleasure.
Fantastic. Sorry, I've got lots of helicopters flying over me at the moment, I think, because of the fires. So there's background noise. Apologies for that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please do find Philippe to connect with him in the networking session. We're actually opening that, I think, in the next 5 minutes or so, but more formally from 2 o'clock. So look forward to meeting you there. Philippe, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time and your presentation. It's tough to do it virtually when you're kind of just presenting blankly to a blank screen. So thank you so much. Really well.
Thank you, Nick, really for the organization, Casey and GreenCape. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks so much. Thanks everyone. See you in the networking session.